Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for a 5x5. 5x5 is one of my favourite videos of the week. The idea is simple. I take 5 different topics. I spend 5 minutes talking about each topic. There is a countdown timer at the bottom of the screen. When the countdown reaches 0, I move on to the next topic. It's always quick, it's always snappy, you never know what you're going to get. This week we are continuing with what we've done for the last few weeks because you guys seem to dig it, and we're going to do a live performance. So segment number 1 is going to be a live performance of me performing out in the real world, and then section 2, the second segment, is going to be me showing the same live performance, but I'm going to be actually doing a commentary track over the top, and I'm going to be talking about what I did during the performance and why I did it. Honestly, I think this is one of the best ways that you can actually kind of pick up on tips and tricks from somebody who's been out performing in the real world for like 25 years. So we're going to do that in the first 2 segments, but there's a whole bunch of stuff going on as well, including a deck review of a brand new deck that I absolutely love by P3 Penguin Magic. So without further ado, let's start off by looking at a live performance from a real king.
Okay, and we're going to use 4 cards for this. We're going to use 4 cards. We're going to use the King of Spades, the King of Clubs, the King of Diamonds. Finally, we're going to use the King of Hearts. 4 kings. And what I want you to do, sir, is I want you to pick a card. Okay? It doesn't matter which card you pick, though. I am allowed to look at it. So, but take a number card. The 10. Are you sure? Very good. And I'm going to give you a pen. I'd like you to write your name on the face of the card. Nice big letters if you can. That would be wonderful.
On the?
Yeah, on the face. Great, nice big letters. And underneath, just go ahead and put the bank account number and sort code. Worth trying. You're considering it for a minute. That would have been so cool.
Believe me, I wasn't.
Okay, worth a try. Right, here's the thing. Earlier on, you saw us on the stage. We were doing the big illusions with the boxes, making Anna's various body parts disappear. This is a similar thing. This is all to do with the illusion. This is not real. Everything that you see in the next 2 minutes is not real, but you will be convinced that it is. It uses your 10 with your signature on. I'm going to put it down in my pocket, but we'll get back to it a little bit later on, okay? Now, the trick doesn't use the whole pack, it just uses the 4 kings. So we use the 4 kings, not the rest of the cards. I'm going to use the 4 kings to create this illusion. We've got the King of Spades, we've got the King of Clubs, we've got the King of Diamonds and the King of Hearts. The 2 red kings and the 2 black kings. Now I'm going to create an illusion right now. One of these kings starts to look a little bit like your card. Watch the King of Clubs. See, all I do is I shake, and when I do that, King of Clubs really does look like your card, complete with your name. Now the thing is, it's only an illusion. It's not real. You have to trust me that that's not your card. It's in my pocket. It's just an illusion, and it starts to look a little bit like your card. We'll do that again. We've got 3 kings left. This time we'll use the King of Diamonds. That's the one in the middle. Watch. 1, 2, 3. And that one starts to look just a little bit like your card. Do you think that looks a little bit like your card? I love the look on your face. You look like a rabbit caught in a headlock. 2 kings turned into 10s. 2 left. I'm going to do it again. This time we've got the heart and we've got the diamond. The heart and the diamond. I'm going to do it again, this time with the heart. I'll shake it over these 2. And you'll actually see in mid-air that one changing into a 10. That leaves us with 1 final king to go. Now, I've actually had these 3 turn into 10s. That leaves us with the King of Spades. This one's the hardest one of the lot, because with this one, I haven't got anything to cover that king up with, which means I have to do it one way and one way only, and that's good magic. And we've got a situation now where we've got 4 10s. But the thing is, we can't have 4 10s. It's impossible. I know you think it's possible, it's completely impossible. The reason is, in my pocket from the very beginning, we've had the 10. And that's been there from the very beginning, which can only mean one thing. These cards have been, and always will be, the 4 10s. Because we need a big finish. We need a big finish. We need a big finish. It's very important to have a big finish. Could you just give the cards a shuffle for me, if that'd be okay? That'd be great. Give the cards a shuffle. Hold your hands out for me, sir, if you can. That'd be great. Both hands. What was your name?
Paul.
Paul. What I want you to do is just put your hands into a praying type of thing there. Very good. And when you finish shuffling, put the cards inside the box. Perfect. This is what we're going to do right now. I'm going to do the impossible. Your card shuffled into the deck by yourself. Yes? And the cards put there inside the box. For the big finish, I'm going to make your card disappear from the deck and appear inside your hands. Do you believe me? Okay, watch this. From the deck to the hand. Watch. 1. I do all my own choreography. 2, 3. You feel it? Have a look. It's there. It's just invisible. Honestly, it is. I'll prove it to you. Can you take the card for me? Don't drop it. If you drop it, you'll never find it. Take the card, fold it in half. Now face inwards, not face outwards. Fold it the other way. It's very good. Crease the edges. Crease it. Very, very good. Fold it up again. And again. It's good. And put it right down. Go back together. This time, sir, the invisible card that she folded up herself, when I snap my fingers, it's going to appear inside your hand visibly. Do you believe me? You see all this stuff going on? You see me make women's heads disappear, you see me do all that, but you don't believe me. We've got a trust issue going on here, we really have. Right. 1, 2, 3, have a look. It's there. Do you believe me?
No.
What was your name again?
Paul.
You know why Paul doesn't believe me? There's a simple reason why Paul doesn't believe me. The reason you don't believe me, Paul, is because up until this point, you have not yet looked under your watch. Thanks very much. Cool, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
So this is actually quite an old trick of mine. I released this many, many years ago on a project called Locked in a Room Without Coins. And it's called the Lance Burton Appreciation Trick. And the whole idea is it's a packet trick with a regular deck of cards and a small, it's kind of like a wild card, small packet trick. And then you end up with a card under watch kicker. So where are we? Let's have a look at what I'm doing right here. First of all, the most important thing I want you to note when I'm performing to these people, this was like at an outdoor festival. It was a private party. It was festival themed. Everyone was having a good time. This particular table were a little bit subdued when I came over. So what I want you to notice first of all is, and go back and watch the performance if you need to, but I want you to see how I'm trying to engage with every single person on the table. So, you know, I gave the gentleman over there the card to sign, and I'm getting everybody to get involved with what I'm doing. I'm looking at every single person around the table. And that's really important. You're not always going to have situations where you go into and everybody is just super crazy all the time. Sometimes you have to build up the atmosphere in a performance, and that's what I had to do here at the very beginning, and you'll see by the end they absolutely get into it. And one way, as I say, to do that is to make sure you're engaging every single person. Now, with regards to this particular trick, it's a really fun trick to do because, like I say, it's a wild card with a regular pack of cards. But there's something I want you to understand here. The 4 kings are turning into their signed card one at a time, and I'm putting, as each card changes, I'm putting it down onto the table. Now, it requires a lot of audience management because when that second card changes like that, a lot of the time you'll have people grab for the card on the table. So what I do is I like to try and make sure that the cards are kept right there near me. Notice, even though I'm doing these moves, I'm doing them very near the cards on the table. It's so that I can stop anybody if they try to turn the cards on the table over, because obviously they're not 10s on the table, they're kings. You and I know that. So that's one important point. I've done this by putting the cards into the spectator's hand, and it's absolutely fine as long as you're aware of the audience management. Now, the other thing is, notice I'm about to do a side steal here, and notice I stepped back at this point so that the whole table can see. And a lot of the time when you're preparing for a more difficult move, for example, or a more visual move that you want everybody involved in, it's really important to kind of take a step back. And make sure that you're doing it on the offbeat and not on the onbeat. I've talked on this channel a lot in the past about offbeat and onbeat. Basically, any move should be done when the audience aren't really paying attention to your hands. Now, notice that's a natural applause cue. They think the trick's over, and I'm now going to go into the second phase. Now, notice I give them the cards to shuffle, and I do a body turn. And the reason I do a body turn is I'm doing a one-handed card fold, and that happens behind my back as I do the body turn. I focus everyone's attention on them shuffling the cards. I then come back over and I immediately load the card under the watch. I get asked a lot of the time, how do you load a card under the watch? The way to do it is just go straight in with the card under the watch. I tend to find a one-handed card fold is better than Mercury card fold because it's folded into a smaller package, and I find that's easier to get underneath the watch. But the big piece of advice I can say is just do it. You are going to get caught doing a card under watch load, and you're going to get caught a couple of times when you're first doing it, and eventually you won't get caught at all. Now please notice that there's a lot of time misdirection going on here with regards to the presentation from when I loaded the card under the watch to when I actually make it appear. And I think that when you're doing card under watch, that time misdirection is very important. I've seen magicians in the past where they load the card under the watch and within 3 or 4 seconds they reveal it, and the problem there is the audience can kind of backtrack as to what's happened. If you do it the way that I'm suggesting that you do it, and you load it under the watch but then you do something else, in my case I was getting the lady on my side to pantomime folding the card, which is a funny thing anyway, makes it really entertaining, but it also gives you a lot of time misdirection. If you think about it, there's probably about 1.5 minutes between the load of the card and the revelation, so that when they turn their hand over and they see the card underneath the watch, they absolutely freak out. If you haven't tried card under watch, I really seriously advise that you try it, and you'll notice it's a great ending. If you haven't, you noticed I wasn't wearing a jacket there, so I had limited pocket space. Rather than carrying a card to wallet around or something like that, loading a card under a watch is an absolutely viable way to end any routine, not just the wild card that I did there, but ambitious card under, card under box, anything really. It's absolutely worth learning a card under watch and putting it into your arsenal. Okay, so one thing that I like to do on the 5x5s is spotlight an older trick that you guys might not have seen before, that I think is really, really good, because it goes, there's so many people these days that are looking for the latest and greatest trick. And we forget that some of the stuff that came out years and years and years ago is exceptional. And you know what? This is something that I probably should have spotlighted a long time ago, and I haven't. And the reason I haven't is because I figured every single person on the planet would know this trick. As it turns out, not every single person knows this trick. In fact, it's something that a lot of people haven't even heard of, which shocks me to the core, but there you go. And I know I'm going to get lots of comments down below going, really, people don't know about this trick? Oh my gosh, I've been doing it for years. But maybe if you're new into magic and people don't talk about it, there's a very good chance you're not going to know what it is. I am, of course, talking about Twisted Sisters by John Bannon. Now, anybody who knows me knows that John Bannon is one of my favourite creators. I did a Talk Magic interview on him on the channel, which you can go and check out. John Bannon is amazing. And since bringing out Twisted Sisters, he's brought out lots of different variations and lots of different versions. I still think that Twisted Sisters is the best version of this type of trick, bar none. So what is Twisted Sisters? Well, the idea is very simple. It's a packet trick that's based on B-Wave by Max Maven or Phil Goldstein. And the whole idea of it is to give people an apparent freedom of choice. So it's a packet trick where you've got 4 red back cards, 4 blue back cards, and there's a kicker ending that you're not going to see coming. Now, I'm going to do a full performance of this in a minute. Sarah's never seen this, I think, so I'm going to perform it to Sarah behind the camera. I have to tell you right now, if you don't do this in your act, this is something that you absolutely should be doing. It makes a great introduction into mental magic. So if you're going to be doing kind of mental magic type performances, then this is something that's an absolute brilliant way to get into that. The spectators are left feeling like they have way more choices than they have. Also, it resets immediately. It's not examinable, but to be honest, nobody ever wants to examine it. The kicker at the end with the jokers, which you'll see in a minute, people never see coming. And it's also very easy to do. There's one move, which I'm sure experienced card magicians will note when they see the performance in a minute. There's one move that's done twice at the beginning of the routine. However, you can skip that sleight out if you want to. I've met people in the past that have done this and they haven't even used that sleight at all. And it doesn't really decrease the impact of the routine. So it's called Twisted Sisters. It's by John Bannon. It's still available from all good magic dealers, and it's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen it, then check this out. It's a full performance of Twisted Sisters. Okay, so I have a little black wallet, and I've got Sarah behind the camera. You going to help me? Is that all right, Sarah?
Yeah.
You haven't been on many videos recently. It's all been Luke and Jack. Have you?
I've been hiding.
Have you missed it? Have you missed the?
I'm
No.
gonna not answer.
Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something with the deck of cards, with the packet of cards. 2 packets of cards, right, Sarah?
Right.
I've got a blue packet and I've got a red packet. I don't think you've seen this before, actually.
Okay.
The blue packet, as you can see, all blue cards, and the red packet, there's all red cards, right? Okay. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to pick a packet. Which one would you like, red or blue?
Blue.
Blue. I want you to imagine in that blue packet of cards, there's 4 queens. Mm-hmm. What I want you to do is think of one of those queens.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, don't tell me what the queen is. Just tell me, is it a red queen or a black queen?
Black.
So you're thinking of a black queen in this packet.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think of a red queen in this packet.
Okay.
And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and make the queens change places. Without even knowing what queens you're thinking of, I'm going to make them change places. So the queen you're thinking of in that packet is going to change places with the queen you're thinking of in this packet. Watch.
Right.
1, 2, 3. It's done. What was the queen you were thinking of over here, the black queen?
I've got to tell you now, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
Clubs.
You're joking, seriously. Check this out. Look over here. There's the queen of clubs reversed in that packet.
Eh?
And what queen were you thinking of over here?
Diamonds.
You're joking. Are you serious?
Yes.
It was the diamonds.
Yes.
Check this out. Look, there's the diamonds over here in that packet. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's pretty good, but they didn't change places.
No.
But they did. You see, the queen of clubs was over there and jumped over there. The queen of diamonds was over there and it jumped over there. And I can prove it to you. You see that queen of clubs?
Yeah.
It's got a red back. It came from that packet over there. And you see the queen of diamonds? It's got a blue pack. It came from that packet over there.
Eh?
And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what would have happened if you hadn't picked the queen of diamonds and the queen of clubs or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did, because to be honest, every other card is a joker. Okay, so I haven't done a deck review on the channel for a while, so I wanted to do a deck review, and this is a deck review of the new Roasters playing cards by Penguin Magic, or P3. Now, you know what? For years, everybody was talking about Illusionist playing cards, and then Theory 11, and obviously Alex Pandrea releases a lot of playing cards as well, and custom playing cards are a really big thing. In the last few years, in the last couple of years, Penguin have really come to the forefront with decks of cards that are really fun and really different. And they're releasing a lot of custom decks of cards right now. These are incredible. I absolutely love these. They handle really well. I'm going to get a close-up cam to come in a second and let you actually see them up close and personal. I love the back design for this. I love the way they handle. I love the actual look of the faces of the playing cards. So I've talked about this before. The problem with a lot of custom decks is they look just like a normal deck. There's no difference between like some custom decks of cards and the deck of bikes. And if I'm going to have a custom deck, I don't use them to collect them. I use them because what I want to do is I want to take them to gigs. And this I've got a feeling, I haven't took this to a gig yet, but I've got a feeling this is going to create a big impact. I actually want to try and come up with a way of doing a color changing deck with this. Because if I was doing like a residency in like a coffee house, or even, I was going to say, Starbucks or Costa or places like that. This deck's a given. But to be honest, everybody can relate to coffee. And if you do a color changing deck and the entire deck changes into a coffee design, I think this would be really cool. So this is something that I'm actually going to play around with. I've got some ideas from a scripting point of view that I think would make real sense, which I'll probably share on a Magic Live in the future. But yeah, these cards are great. The gaffed cards that come with them are good. A lot of the time when you get gaffed cards, they're pointless or it's just advertising cards. I think if you're marketing a deck to magicians, you want to try and make those cards as interesting as possible. It's just a really wonderful deck. I'm definitely going to start using these. I love them. Let's have a close-up look at these cards. So first of all, the tuck case is really nice. The back design of the cards is the same as on the back of the tuck case. Roasters coffee shop playing cards, all very, very nice. When you open them up, one thing that immediately struck me is the gaffed card that you get. You get an Ace of Spades, Queen of Hearts gaffed card, which is one of the more useful gaffed cards you could get. Normally, a lot of the time, when you get given a gaffed card, it's something that you can't really use, like a blank, but this is actually really useful. And as well as that, you also get a double backer. So those are your 2 gaffed cards. Now, the backs of the cards I absolutely love. When I saw it, I thought maybe it's a one-way back design. It's not. But, if you've got a residency in a coffee shop or something, the backs of these cards are super awesome. Now, looking at the faces, I love the Jokers. Obviously, the Joker's got a built-in card revelation onto it because you've got a bag of coffee beans and then you've got another bag of coffee beans with a 10 of hearts sticking out of it. which is pretty cool. Then I love the Ace of Spades. You've got that whole coffee cup with the spade made out of the cream, which is really good. And then all of the number cards have a coffee cup over one of the pips or two of the pips, which I thought was really nice as well. And I've said before when I've been doing reviews on decks, I like it when it looks a little bit different. Sometimes you see a specialty deck and there's literally no difference between that and a normal deck. Court cards are really nice. They're drinking coffee out of cups with the same suit on that matches their their suit. All of the aces have that same design with it's bigger. Normally you see the aces have smaller pips in the middle. You don't have that. All of the aces are big, which I really liked as well. And again, exactly the same with the court cards on both the spades, diamonds, clubs, and hearts, all the way through. There's your clubs, there's your hearts. I think that there's a really interesting trick you could do using the aces with the with the big coffee cups, and using this ace here. I'm pretty sure you could come up with something pretty special. The only other thing that you need to know is they faro really well. They handle really nicely. I have been playing around with these. These faro, as you can see, absolutely beautifully. So they really faro nice. Straight out the box. You don't need to train them. They faro really nicely straight out the box. They feel really good. They handle really good. You can do strike doubles with them really nicely. It's just a really well-made deck of cards. So I want to do a review for you now, and I want to do a review of a new trick that's just come out. It's called Win a Drink, and it's by Leo Schmesters. And Win a Drink is less of a trick, to be honest, and it's more of a bar bet. The whole idea of this is that you throw it into your pocket if you're going to go out to a bar with your friends, and it's something that you can do. It's kind of almost like a Just Chance or a bank night style routine, where you play a game and everyone apparently is going to win something. Everybody ends up winning a drink, and the one person who doesn't win a drink ends up with a symbol that says buy a round. Now I'm going to do a performance in a minute on Sarah. This, as I say, this is marketed as like a drinking game, that's not really a professional trick. But to be honest, if you were working a residency, and I've worked a few residencies in the past where it's more of a drinking establishment than an actual restaurant, and everyone's in there drinking and it's a bar and so on and so forth. I think if you went up to a group of people and there's like 6 or 7 people there and you did this, I think it would bring the house down. I think you could do the most wonderful sleight of hand in the world, but then you pull this out and you do this, and I think this is probably the thing that everybody would be talking about. It uses one simple move, which I'm sure a lot of you will recognise. Strangely, on the tutorial, when Leo explains this, he said he didn't know the history behind this force, which is really surprising because I thought everybody knew what the patio force is, especially somebody like Leo. But, whatever. It's a really well thought out idea. It's not going to set the world on fire, but I think it's a really nice trick to carry around with you, especially if you're going down the pub with mates. So, Sarah, this is a game that's normally played in a bar with like up to 7 people.
Like a drinking game.
Like a drinking game sort of thing.
Did you bring me a glass of wine?
I didn't bring you a glass of wine, but as it's just you and me in this room, we're going to have to pretend that we've got 5 invisible mates. So we're in a bar, it's 7 of us, we've got 5 invisible friends, and we're playing this little game. And the whole idea is, in this little purse, I've got some little gaming tokens. Now, they all look exactly the same. In that there's little lines on them, yeah? Yeah. But there's little lines on all of them. Right. There's different things written on the back of each one. And there's prizes, and you're going to get a chance to win a prize. All of our invisible friends, me, we're all chance to win a prize. There is one booby prize in there, but we'll get to that later on. And the idea is simple. We're going to eliminate these little gaming tokens one by one until we're left with 1 for you. And we're going to start off with you pointing to 2, and I'll pick out of those 2 which one we get rid of. And then I'll point to 2, and we'll and you pick which one to get rid of and continue. It makes sense in a second. So we'll start off with you. Which 2 do you want?
The 2 outside ones.
These 2 right here?
No, the 2 outside, so like...
Oh, sorry, this one and this one. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this one. So who should we give this one to?
Bob.
Bob gets this one. There we go, Bob. Okay. Wonderful. So I'm going to pick 2 now. I'm going to go with these 2. Okay. Which one do you want to... Which one do you want to give away?
The far one.
This one here.
Yeah.
And who are we going to give that to?
Charlie.
Charlie gets that one. Okay, so now we're back on to you again. Which two do you want to
The
point?
two nearest you.
These two right here.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm going to get rid of this one. Who are we going to give this to?
Dave.
Dave. There we go. So Dave's got that one. So who points now? Sorry, I've lost count.
I chose those.
Oh, so you chose. So I'll point to these two. Oh no, it's you. Yeah. I'll point to these two. Sorry.
The one nearest me. We'll get rid of.
That one there.
Yeah.
And who are we giving this one to?
We're going to give that one to Eric.
Eric. Okay. And now you point to
The two to this side.
these two right here.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of that one. Who's getting that one?
Freddie.
Okay, and then that leaves these two. I'll have this one, and you can have that one. Okay?
Okay.
So, let's see how it goes. All the way through, you
That
chose...
was not my choice, but
No, it was your choice. It was your choice. It was your choice all the way through. And let's have a look here. This person here, I think was Bob. Bob wins a drink.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Wonderful. And let's see what... who was this? Dave, this was, I think.
No,
Dave.
that was Charlie.
Charlie wins a drink.
Oh, what?
Was this Dave?
No, yeah, now it's Dave.
Dave wins a drink.
Oh, what?
Who's this? Eric.
That's Eric.
Eric wins a drink.
How come they're getting all the drinks?
Who's this one?
That's Freddie.
Freddie wins a drink.
Don't tell me you get win a drink and I have nothing.
I won a drink as well.
Oh, this is a con.
I wonder what you got, Sarah.
This is a con.
Buy a round. So, you go and get us all a drink, and I'll see you back here in a few minutes.
No chance.
So there you go, guys. That is another 5x5 in the bag, as Riley would say. Thank you very much for watching this 5x5. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos, you know what you got to do. You got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. And what's coming up over the course of this week? We've got some amazing stuff on, so it's Monday today. So on Tuesday, tomorrow, we've got a shorts at 2 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, we've got a live. And then at 9 o'clock, we've got a Talk Magic interview, and you're going to love the person I'm interviewing this Tuesday. And then the following day, on the Wednesday, it is a jam-packed day because we have got shorts at 2 o'clock, live at 6 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, myself and Ryland are back with the Craig and Ryland Review Show. And then at 9 o'clock, don't forget, on Spotify, it is the premiere episode of the Magic Podcast with myself and Lloyd Barnes. This is not going to be on YouTube. It is only going to be on the podcast. So you can go check that out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'll be providing the link absolutely everywhere. Go check out the Magic Podcast. It's something that myself and Lloyd are really proud about. And I'm going to be back again tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic.